gypsy moths or microbes or birds. Humans are evolving too, right now. Can you hear it? Hey there, evolved persons. Trace here for D-News. We've studied evolution for a long time. We have heaps of evidence showing the path evolution took from the dawn of man all the way to the present day. There are those who deny that we've evolved at all and believe evolution is purely science fiction, but though I really like Nickelodeon's Tomorrow People, X-Men, and Heroes, real human evolution does exist in recorded history. 5,000 years ago, in the 3rd millennium BC, humans were in the Bronze Age. Europeans were learning to use metals, the Sumerians were building ziggurats, and the Egyptians were figuring out papyrus. And since then, we've gone through some physiological changes. Humans aren't just smarter, though that's part of it, we've genetically mutated and adapted. A study published in Nature in 2012 analyzed the human genome and found that we are now carrying mutations that didn't exist 5,000 years ago. The 6,500 DNA strands of European and African Americans contained 1.15 million single nucleotide variants. That is to say, a single letter of the ACGT structure of DNA had been mutated versus other individuals. This shows that we've evolved because evolution is simply mutation over time, with some performing better than others. When a group of humans left the cradle of life in Africa en route to Europe, they left behind a broad DNA base, limiting themselves to only their band of explorers. This means European Americans are carrying around more of these single variant mutations because of that smaller initial gene pool. Human evolution continues the way it always has after that, through DNA encoding errors causing adaptation. Whether it's positive or negative, is where natural selection plays a role. Geneticists from Africa and Europe analyzed ancient DNA to determine a baseline for our evolutionary change and found that our skin, our hair, and our eye pigmentation has slowly adapted and changed as we've spread. Their research, published by the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, used computer simulations to compare that baseline ancient DNA to modern Europeans to find out how certain genetic mutations affected our bodies. According to their DNA comparisons, ancient Europeans were significantly darker skinned 5,000 years ago. But as we push north, nature kind of weeded out darker skin because it's less efficient at producing vitamin D in a lower UV, cloudier latitude. As there was a lack of vitamin D from the sun, these people needed to get it from their diet instead, which may explain why most of the planet have trouble digesting lactose, except for those who are from the cloudy north of Europe. The evolution of hair and eye color is a little less clear, but there is some basic evidence that blue-eyed people can see better in the dark. Really basic evidence, guys. This is just my thought, but perhaps these cloudier places maybe influence lighter eye color as well. More study is needed for sure. Unfortunately, because of the limited gene pool, not all the mutations are going to be good. 14% of them are actually potentially harmful, possibly causing diseases and stuff. Oh, Mother Earth, thou art a heartless wench. Do you feel evolved? Click the like if you do and the dislike if you don't. Because some days I do when I've had good sleep and a nice, meal. But tell us your feelings in the comments below this video as well. Subscribe for more D News, and thanks for watching.
Hox genes and the evolution of animal body plans. Animals have a variety of body plans. Flies have 6 legs, mice have 4, and millipedes have many. Scientists have proposed that changes in a group of similar genes called the Hox genes have created the diverse animal body plans we have today. To test this hypothesis, our lab has focused on crustaceans. Crustaceans are an excellent group of animals for studying body plan evolution because they have many different body plans. By examining Hox genes in crustaceans, we can understand how these genes have changed to produce new body plans. In particular, our lab focuses on the sandhopper. Let's stretch out the sandhopper body plan so we can see each segment. The sandhopper has antennae, many mouthparts, claws, forward walking legs, reverse walking legs, swimming legs, and anchoring legs. First, we figured out where each of the Hox genes is turned on. Then we deleted each of these Hox genes to see how this would affect the animal's body plan. For example, if you delete the Hox gene called abdominal A, the animal's backwards walking legs turn into forward walking legs, and the animal's swimming legs turn into anchoring legs. This means that abdominal A is necessary for making backwards walking legs and swimming legs.
become who we are? This question lies at the heart of the age-old debate regarding nature versus nurture. Are we simply the products of our nature, our genetic material, or are we more influenced by the environment in which we live? If genetics were the defining factors in who we become, wouldn't all identical or monozygotic twins, twin siblings who share exactly the same genetic material, be the same in every single way? Anyone who knows identical twins, or who is a twin, realizes that this is a false presumption. While there are often many astounding similarities between identical twins, they're certainly not the same person. They may look slightly different, have differences in personality, patterns of thinking, likes and dislikes, etc. So what causes these variations among people who share the same genetic material? Scientists believe that the answer lies in a process called epigenesis. Epigenesis is the way a gene changes in the face of environmental influences. In other words, things in the environment can positively or negatively impact the way genetic material is expressed in the development of human beings. Meet
There have always been people who find evolution hard to believe, although it's more than thoroughly proven. At first, not even Darwin could believe it. So how did he come to write and publish one of the most important and controversial theories in science history? Charles Darwin had always wanted to study nature, even though his father wanted him to be a doctor or a priest. Defying him, young Darwin embarked on a ship sent to chart the coasts of South America because he wanted to collect and study exotic animal specimens. What he found on the 5-year trip would lead him to question his beliefs. What if species weren't as permanent and perfect as everyone thought? In Argentina, Darwin found fossils of what looked like giant armadillos and sloths. Clearly, these animals had existed at some point, but they didn't anymore. This made Darwin suspect species had changed over time, in line with some existing but unpopular theories. He had also seen mockingbirds, and when he got to the Galapagos, he found different mockingbird species on the islands, distinct among each other and from the mainland species. Because of their sheer similarity and closeness, Darwin hypothesized that they had a common ancestor whose specimens had flown to the islands and changed there. However, something was missing. How did this change happen? Darwin's inspiration came from an economist, Thomas Malthus, who believed that humans reproduced faster than their food supply. Darwin realized that animals always breed beyond their available resources, so the individuals who were better at surviving would be the ones to reproduce. This way, they would pass on any traits that had helped them survive. Everything fit together, but there was a final hurdle. Darwin, like the society he lived in, was deeply religious, and all the evidence he'd found contradicted Christian beliefs. It would take him over 20 years to write and publish his revolutionary book on the origin of species. But when he finally did, it became one of the most influential scientific treatises of all time.